All right, everyone. Finally got this to work. Morgan, I'm sorry about the delay.
It's all good.
All right, everyone, I have Morgan. How do I pronounce his name? Brustman or Brustman?
Brustman.
Brustman. I got Morgan Brustman here from Manchester High School. Morgan's a very unique athlete, plays multiple sports on the varsity level, which is good to see, something you don't see so often these days compared to when I was in high school. So thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
To start off, how have you been keeping busy with all the social distancing and basically on lockdown and self
Yeah.
quarantines?
Really, I'm just trying to keep myself busy. I've been doing my schoolwork every day, trying to keep myself on a schedule between school, assignments, working out, and my soccer and basketball workouts, really. And focusing on myself more because I don't normally have a lot of time to do that, and spending time with my family.
I mean, that's great. Have you found it more challenging or the same or easy doing the schoolwork, with the virtual learning?
Um, so in the beginning, I found it a lot easier.
Mm-hmm.
I was waking up, getting everything done, and then in the middle, after a couple weeks, I started to get comfortable, I would say. And it took me longer. I was doing my schoolwork from it took me a lot longer than it should have, I should say. But now I'm getting back in the groove and getting it done earlier, so it's getting better.
That's good. What are some of the things you've been doing to stay in shape?
So personally, I have been doing a lot of workout challenges and going on runs every day, trying to get into shape for preseasons and stuff. But my soccer team from Minnesota, actually, we're doing a challenge with the boys team. So we have every day is a different challenge and we try to beat the other teams. So that's fun. Keeps things interesting.
Oh, definitely. I mean, just practicing by yourself over and over again, could probably make some people go crazy. Good to see that, you know, on Twitter, you see a lot of teams doing challenges and stuff, which is good to see to keep things fun. All right, let's start getting into the sports. Like I said, multiple sports. First, let's start basketball. How old were you when you started playing basketball?
Basketball, I was probably about 10 years old.
Okay. How
10,
about
yeah.
soccer? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, no, it's good. Soccer, I started playing when I was 5.
Now you play varsity for both soccer and basketball for
Yeah.
Manchester, which is very impressive. Especially how a lot of these sports want you to focus on that individual sport for most of the year. When you were younger, did you play anything else?
So when I was really young, I tried T-ball for 1 year, but I didn't like it because you had to stop at every base and it's too fair for me.
Too
And
much, too much standing around.
yeah, and I swam from when I was about 4 years old to 10 competitively, and
Oh, wow.
not so much anymore, but I used to want to learn how to play golf.
Golf, it looks easy, but very complicated.
Very hard.
I go to the driving range a lot and never know where my ball is going to end up.
Yeah, my dad and I like to go every once in a while, and I beat him, but when we have to play with other people, it's not good.
um, I want to just talk a little bit about the swimming. Did you have a particular stroke, or did you do all of them?
So when I was younger, I did all of them, and in competitions and swim meets, I would do all of them. I did a lot of relays,
Okay.
but my favorite was breaststroke.
Now, how were the workouts with swimming? Because swimming they say could be best stamina workouts, cardio
Yeah,
workouts there is. Did you find that?
I found that to be true. I used to have swim about 4 days a week, and I would go home and I would try to eat everything in the house. I would burn so many calories that I couldn't stop. But it was really fun.
um, when you were younger, or even going into high school, which sport kind of was more of a focus? I'm not going to say more important, but more of a focus that you want to pursue after high school.
So actually, going into high school, I was dead down the middle between soccer and basketball.
Hmm.
Everyone always asked me what my favorite sport was, which one I liked better, and I could never really give them an answer until after sophomore year I decided that I really wanted to focus on soccer, and I would keep up with basketball, but it just wasn't as high as it
Okay.
was.
I mean, I understand, especially when you get to the high school level. One has to take a little bit of lead. Importance. Let's talk about your family a little bit. Did your parents play any sports?
Yeah, my dad played soccer, basketball, and baseball through high school, and then my mom played basketball and softball through high school, but neither of them really took that to the next level.
Okay. See your dad. He's always in the stands at your basketball games. Um, how have they been? Supporting you. Trying to help you get better.
Right. So really they've been my biggest supporters.
Hmm.
Everyone always thinks they're crazy because we would actually go from when I did both competitively outside of school, we would have a basketball tournament in Delaware, and then same day I would have a soccer game in Jersey, and we would go from my basketball game. They would drive me to my soccer game, and then we would go back to the basketball tournament. So I don't know how they did it, but they really always put me in the best position to be the best athlete and person I could be.
I mean, can't ask for more. I know a lot of the players I talk to, their parents drive them all over the place, and that's just for usually one sport, whether it's basketball or soccer. And you have your parents driving you all over. For both sports, it's always good. What kind of advice have they given you? Through the years.
Yeah, my parents were always very honest with me, especially well, they were both really honest with me. So if I played well, they would tell me. If I didn't play well, they would say I didn't have a good game. They wouldn't really sugarcoat anything. And they always gave me tips on how, when they went through the same troubles that I went through, how they got through it and how they became better.
That's probably one of the reasons I try to stay away from parents at basketball games because a lot you know focus on their kid, but talking to your father, he's very honest. He'll tell you, like, that's the impression I got. Just a few times talking to your
Yeah,
dad.
no, he
He
doesn't.
tells you how it is, and a lot of kids don't hear that, whether it's from their coaches or trainers or parents. Which is good. Which being honest is how you're going to get better in the long run. You agree with
Right.
that?
I do. I mean, in the moment when it's right after a game and he's telling me what I needed to fix, I mean, I didn't really enjoy it then, but after I cooled down a little bit, after we got home, I would always be like, he's right. Like, this is what I need to do to fix.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about AAU. What teams have you played for?
So, first year I played AAU, I played for the Mid Jersey Heat,
How old
and
were you then?
then I was about fifth grade.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I think that was my fifth grade year. And then my team and the girls' team, a year or two older than me, actually split off from the club and made our own, the Jersey Warriors, for
okay,
the next 5 years, I would say,
okay,
with Dennis Adams and my dad.
okay. Who are some of the players you played for the Warriors? You played with the Warriors.
Um, I played with Destiny Adams and Dakota,
Okay,
Christina Donza,
okay,
Cameron Lister, and Ashley Tutzauer.
okay. Some talented players on that team.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it was awesome.
Now, when we get into high school playing, we'll talk a little bit about Destiny and Dakota, what it's like playing with them. Um, who are some of your trainers through the years for basketball?
Dee Dee Williams, Darnell Williams. He
Okay,
started when I was younger, and then I went to Hoops 360 with um, Dana and Lucy.
okay,
They're like a local training, and then I grew into Tiny. Tiny
okay,
really helped me for a couple years, and then freshman sophomore year I went to Gary Linton.
okay. No, no, a lot of players going to Tiny, you see, the best of the best in the shore with Tiny,
Right.
which is always good. And Gary's building something nice with the Ocean County girls, with his style of training, and a few different trainers you have here, which is it's always good. You get a different look from each trainer, different thing, help you improve. Um, Soccer. Who are some of the what club teams, travel teams that you played for?
So when I first started, when I was my first 2 or 3 years, I played for LMSA,
Mm-hmm.
the local Lakers teams. And
Mm-hmm.
then when I realized that I really wanted to make this, like I like playing soccer, I moved to Toms River Football Club,
Okay.
which is where I play with my club team. And then recently, later last year, I got picked up by Mid-City Lady Lions from Minnesota.
The
And
state, the state Minnesota.
yes, the state Minnesota. And then I play with them in elite showcase tournaments, like AAU showcase, but for soccer.
Can I ask, how did you end up on a Minnesota team?
Yeah, everyone asks me. So for soccer, for the showcase tournaments, all the tournaments have their own website, and you can go on, and because my club team didn't really do as many like travel tournaments, like
Mm-hmm.
in further away from Jersey, I
Mm-hmm.
signed up for a Disney tournament, a tournament Disney, and the team actually picked me up to play in goal for them, but they said that they needed to see me play first. So they invited me to a tournament out in San Diego,
Oh wow.
Thanksgiving weekend. Yeah. So I was really nervous. I've never met anyone. They're from Minnesota. And they were actually they were a senior team. And so I played with them and they liked my play. So then they just kept me on the roster. So now we've gone to places like San Diego, Disney. We went to Vegas. So it's really cool being able to travel for soccer.
Yeah, that's one of the fun things about getting on a team like that. You get to travel around the United States, get to see different things. Also, you get to form, bonds with these girls. Friendships that when you
Right.
get older, you're gonna miss it.
Yeah, that was a big thing for me because when I stopped playing AAU basketball, I didn't travel anywhere and AAU tournaments were so fun. And this kind of filled my void. So it was nice.
Good. What position do you play? Did you play when you were younger? You play now for soccer?
So I started out as a forward, and then no one on my team wanted to be goalkeeper, so I decided, like, why not? And my dad had played goalkeeper when he was younger, so I was like, try something new. So I tried goalkeeper. So when I was younger, I played goalkeeper and forward. I split time. And then I just grew and I started to love being a goalkeeper. People said I was crazy, but I don't know. It's just me. And now I play mainly goalkeeper, but sometimes I play midfield.
Okay. Yeah, goalkeepers to me are similar to catcher positions in baseball. The first person to volunteer gets the position.
Yep. And no one wanted to do it, so.
No, no one usually wants to be a catcher either. Who are some of the trainers you have for soccer?
So for soccer, it's a little different
Mm-hmm.
because you get trainers through your club. So Celtic Elite it's a company of trainers that kind of worked with Tom's River. So I trained with them. Jim Moore, who's the head coach at Georgian Court
Okay.
University in Lakewood, he is my goalkeeper trainer with Casey O'Connor. And then my team personal trainer is Kamal Kansu. And then recently I picked up a private goalkeeper trainer, Ruben Santiago.
Okay. So it's another way, your parents helping you out, making sure you get very good trainers to help, get you to the next level.
Right.
How about some of the players help you develop, younger years or that you want to follow?
Yeah, so actually Casey O'Connor, one of my trainers, I've
Mm-hmm.
known her for a long time. And so when I found out that Jim Moore was the head coach at Georgian Court, we would always go to their home games, and that's where I met Casey, and I learned almost everything I wanted to embody her as a player. She was starting goalkeeper for 4 years, so that's someone I wanted to be like. And then on the professional level, I always looked to Hope Solo, not for her personal life, but for her for her work ethic and competitiveness. I always wanted to be like that because I'm very competitive. So being like her, she was someone I looked up to.
Okay. Yeah, no, but she a fierceness about Hope Solo too when she played. Um,
Right.
she was great on the field. Um, moving on to the your high school days. You're currently a junior, finishing your junior year. Uh, Entering high school. Um, you play 3 varsity sports. Am I correct?
Yes.
What do you do in the spring?
So I throw for track.
Okay. Um, Going into high school, was that one of your goals to be able to play a sport in each season?
Yeah, going in, um, I wanted to do 3 sports. I originally wanted to play lacrosse, but I was my parents wouldn't let me because I was already doing 2 contact sports. So I was like, okay, I'll try track, and I loved it.
You throw with discus? What?
Yeah, I throw discus and a little bit of javelin, but mostly discus.
Now, do you find it hard? How to word this? Not a lot of kids play 3 sports. Very rare do kids play 2 sports these days.
hmm
Is it hard to balance the 3 sports? Do you think, or you enjoy it, or?
Personally, I feel that playing more sports helps me. And maybe that's just because what I've been used to for my whole life, but I found, like, when I stopped swimming, I had a season off before I started basketball, and I my grades struggled. I was young, but I found myself struggling in school more, so picking up 3 sports and always staying busy helped me, like, constantly get things done.
I mean, sounds good. Keep yourself busy, keep yourself shape. I know after basketball season, some players slack off a little. They want a little break before the AAU tournaments start. So I mean, you go just right into the next season for high school. Who are now you play soccer for Manchester? You play basketball for Manchester. Who's the soccer coach at Manchester?
The head coach is Wes Moore, and then the assistant coaches are Victoria Trapp and Casey O'Connor. Funny.
Yeah. How about for basketball? Who are the coaches for basketball?
The head coach is Dave Brustman, and then the assistants are Troy Madison and Sarah Paterzo.
Okay. And how about track and field? Sorry about
Oh no, it's cool. The overall girls coach, well, he stopped coaching this season, but I didn't really get this season, so it's Wes Moore, and my throwing coach is Chris Rash.
Okay. So entering high school, what were some goals you had? First, we'll go with soccer first. Entering high school, what were some goals you may have had just for your freshman year, and some goals you might have set for your 4 years when you were entering high school?
Yeah, so my freshman year, I wanted to be one of those freshmen that I knew I had a role to play, and I wanted to be someone who didn't step outside of my role. I wanted to earn the respect of my teammates and my coaches, but through my hard work. I didn't want to be a voice, I wanted to be a body that showed that I wanted to be there. I wanted to learn from our seniors because my freshman year we actually had 3 Division 1 players,
Who were
so
they?
that was really cool. Aaliyah Moore,
Okay.
uh, Julia Giacone, and then Deja Baca.
It's always good, if you got some D1 players, whether it's soccer, basketball, help, especially when you're a freshman, to help you grow. Um,
Right.
so did you make varsity your freshman year?
Yeah, that was one of my goals. My goal was to go in and, I mean, work hard, and I wasn't really expecting anything, but my goal was to make varsity, and that's what I did.
Now, did you make it playing as a goalie or?
So my freshman year, there were 2 sophomore goalkeepers, so I got some time in goal, but I mostly played midfield.
Okay. One of my favorite positions to watch, on the field. How about basketball? What was goals you had for basketball entering your freshman year?
So, like soccer, my goal was to make varsity. I didn't really expect anything because I knew coming in the team was good,
Mm-hmm.
solid team. And then I wanted to contribute any way I could. I wanted to do the little things that not a lot of people like to do. And then, like any freshman, I want to earn the respect that I thought I deserved.
I like what you said. Do the little things. When I'm sitting in the stand, going to these games, to me that stands out more than somebody that drops 30 points. Making the extra pass, making the good pass, fighting for the rebounds. Playing smart, hard basketball. Those stand out more than the point score. So, um, I like that. Now, your freshman year, how far did Manchester go in basketball your freshman year?
In basketball, we for states we won South Jersey Group 2, and
Nice.
then we lost to Manasquan in the Group 2
Semis.
semifinals.
Okay. Moving to your sophomore year, talk a little bit, some goals you might have had for soccer first, going into your sophomore year.
Soccer, I really wanted to become more of an impact on the team. I mean, freshman year I was able to do some, but sophomore year our down right the middle of the field was gone. So I wanted to be able to step in and become more of a voice on the team. And of course, earn my varsity letter again, but normally that kind of comes with the years. And as a team, we wanted to freshman year we had won B South, so we wanted to do that again and reach that goal again.
Were you guys able to?
Sophomore year we were not.
Okay. Moving to basketball, talk a little bit. What were some of your goals your sophomore year for basketball?
So for basketball sophomore year, we found out Leilani was transferring, so that was big news. So when we heard that she was coming, and even before, we knew that we had a more experienced team. So we wanted to make it further into our conference. We wanted to win South Jersey Group 2 again, and we really wanted to aim for Group 2 to beat Manasquan in the game that we lost 2 years in a row before that.
Before we get into how good that that Manchester team was, talk a little bit playing with a talent like Correa and Destiny.
Right. So I'll do Leilani first. Leilani was a beast. I mean, she came into the team and she fit in right away. She became a leader right away, and then she pushed everyone at practice to be the best. I mean, she was solid. So every day she would push everyone to be the best, and then when we needed her, she would take over.
Yes, she.
So it was awesome.
I was at one of the few games I saw your sophomore year was the St. Rose semis short conference, and she took over.
Yeah.
Impressive. First time me seeing her play, it was very impressive, and she's doing great things up at St. John's. How about Destiny, another superstar, and you've known
Right.
Destiny for a while, playing AAU.
Yeah, Destiny and I have played together for a couple years for AAU, and so we really got to know how each other play. So it was really cool to be able to know someone like that, and then playing with her was almost like playing with Leilani. I mean, she could take over. She was getting better. It was awesome to see her grow as a player, and then playing on the court with her, she just knew what to do in every moment. She knew what shot to take, when to steal a pass, when to defend. It was awesome.
Yes, and rounding out that team, solid point guard with Reynolds. That very good team. You guys end up making it to the Shore Conference Finals, and you guys play St. John Vianney, and able to win the Shore Conference title. How did that? How did it feel? For you and your team winning the Shore Conference tournament.
Winning the Shore Conference tournament was probably one of the best feelings I've had in high school basketball, because everyone coming into the game was SJV's won so many times. This is Manchester's first game in the final, so we really wanted to show people that we could beat SJV. Not like they're known for basketball, and we knew that we could beat them, but we felt so good to know that we proved everyone wrong.
I agree. And then you guys go on to winning Group 2, all of Group 2. How did it feel, beating Manasquan if, losing your freshman year?
Right. I mean, freshman year, we knew that we could have won. The first quarter killed us. So coming in again, we knew that we could win. We knew that Leilani could shut down Faith. We knew that pretty much our lineup matched with their lineup, but we had more depth.
Mm-hmm.
So beating them, we were excited. We were we were excited that we beat them. Everyone was so happy, but we knew that we had more to do. So we didn't want to get too happy over our win and then get caught up in the feelings. So we were happy and then we got back to business.
Yes. Who did you guys end up playing in the finals?
The finals was Lincoln.
Okay, another talented team. And then you moved on to Tournament of Champions. I mean, was that Manchester's? Is that their first state title? Do you know?
So overall group 2, yes.
Okay.
We had never gone past the semis.
Okay. Now, making it to the semis of the TOC, that's a great accomplishment. And entering your junior year, I guess we'll stick with basketball for right now. Two very solid freshmen coming in, high expectations again. What were some of the goals the team had, and some of the goals you had personally for basketball?
So personally, I knew with Gabby and Angelica coming in that the competition for the team was going to get a lot harder. So I wanted to work on myself personally to still do the little things and be wherever I was needed, do the jobs that were asked to be done by me. And I knew it wasn't going to be big things. So when I was told to do something, I did it, whether it was like locking up someone or going in and giving someone a break. I knew that was my role. So that was nice. And then for goals, we knew we had it, but we wanted to win B South for the third year because we had tied with Donovan for co-champs for a couple years, so we wanted to win that outright.
Okay.
And then we wanted to go back and win the short conference tournament again, and South Jersey Group 2 and Group 2, and then eventually TOC. But our main goal was really to prove to everyone that, yes, Leilani and Dakota were key parts of our team, but everyone, when they left, said that we weren't going to be the same team. We weren't going to get as far. So we wanted to prove to people that despite them not being there, we were still a talented team that people knew us to be.
Yeah, definitely talented team. You guys make it all the way back to the short conference finals. This time, St. John Vianney beats you guys. How did it feel, with that loss?
Yeah, that was a tough loss because we knew we could have won that game. We knew inside of ourselves that we could have won despite everyone thinking that we weren't going to. So it was tough, but we knew that we were hoping to face them again in the tournament champions to beat them, but that didn't happen.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about that. Season ends before the group state finals. How did it feel, not being able to complete the job? I would have had you guys picked on winning the group. What was your feeling, team's feeling, not being able to play that game and then move on to the TOC?
Right. I mean, it was heartbreaking because, especially with what was going on, most the teams that had lost, that their season was over, they knew that there was their last game. So for us, we knew that when we were gonna win groups, we thought that we had a really good chance at winning the whole tournament. So we thought that we were gonna get there and hopefully play SJV again and beat them, and then go on to the final. But it just didn't happen, and then we didn't know it was our last game, so that was even worse.
Yeah, that does stink. Back over to soccer for your junior year. What were the goals you had entering your junior year, and some of the accomplishments you had?
So for junior year, my goal again was to play varsity, but this time I wanted to up and I wanted to start. I mean, sophomore year I had a couple, but I really wanted to make a starting spot on varsity. So it's a funny story actually. I was going in to the season playing center mid, and about a week into our actual practices, our starting goalkeeper she caught a ball and she broke her pinky. So she was out till the middle end of October, so almost the whole season. And then our other goalkeeper wasn't allowed to play high school soccer because her club team wouldn't allow it. So I was next in line. So I stepped in and I became the starting varsity goalkeeper for the first 14 games of the season. And in that time, we had a rough season. I'm not gonna say it wasn't rough because we ended up not having that good of a record. But personally, I did very well. In 14 games I had over 160 saves, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it is a lot.
Oh no.
And then
I keep track of stats at games. That's a lot.
Yeah, there was one game I had 18 saves.
Oh.
So it was not easy. But and then we had one game left in B South play, and our goalkeeper came back. So she actually took back the starting spot, and I moved back to starting center mid.
Okay. Which position do you like better?
I
don't mean to put you on the spot.
No, it's okay. Goalkeeper is my favorite. It's in my heart, but every once in a while I like a break because so much pressure. It's always so much pressure, but I mean, if I had to choose one, I would always go back to goalkeeper.
Okay. Now moving to next year, your last season, for soccer. What are some goals you have?
So personally, my goal is to just keep improving and being a leader. And I started to do this last year, but I want to really become the person that my teammates can rely on and look up to for soccer and school. Like that is something that I love to do. I love helping people. And then as a team, our goal is to get back to a winning season. We want to have a better season than we did last year. And we really think that we can do that because we have a large group of experienced juniors. I meant juniors now, seniors next year. Okay. So hopefully we'll be able to do that.
I promised your dad that I'm going to get to more spread out a little more for soccer next season. Get to different games. I mainly stayed in the Freehold, Jackson, St. Rose, watching them play, but I want to get to see more. There's a lot of talent. Pinelands has a couple of talented players.
Pinelands is one of the best teams in our division. They have a couple of Division I commits, but Brick.
Yeah.
I believe Old Brick is moving into our division this year, so that we played them my sophomore year and they kicked our butts. So
I did get to see Brick this past season. They were.
Yes, they're a solid team, so we're hoping that we can keep up with them this season.
That's good. How about basketball? What are some goals for basketball?
Well, personally, again, I want to be more of an impact on the team and contribute wherever I'm needed. Because I know we have a team full of players that do the big things. I like to do the small things. That's the type of player I am. And I want to keep improving personally and as a team. And then our main team goals are to win B South again. We want to sweep. And then short conference tournament and South Jersey Group 2 again. And hopefully move on to states.
No, I think I made this comment, your Twitter response to your dad's comment, or it might have been Curtis Bray's comment about best 2 out of 3 against St. John Vianney. I don't think it could be, that'd be a fitting way for you.
It'd be a good way to go out.
You and Destiny, seniors, and I think everybody would want to see that.
Right. I mean, we love playing them because our talent kind of matches up.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot of fitting pieces, so it's always fun playing SJV. So that would be nice.
A lot of people say I'm very good at picking matchups and picking winners. I gotta say, Manchester for St. John Vianney is the one game I can't pick a winner because the matchup is so good, and it'd be a tough time for me to pick who was going to win. If you guys played 100 times, I think you guys go 50-50.
Yeah, it always just depends on the day. Yep. I mean, we could beat them any day, and they could beat us, but we think that we have the upper hand. So,
moving on, college. After you graduate high school, going to college. What are some of the things you look for? You're looking at when you're going on college visits.
So, athletic wise, just a team where I can fit in and be an impact. Really, and then no, non-sports related. I don't want to really go in New Jersey. I love New Jersey, but I'm ready to get out.
It's all right.
And I just want somewhere where I can feel comfortable. Academics are a big part of me,
Yeah.
so I also want to go to school with strong academics where I can succeed. I don't want to struggle in classes, but I also don't want to go to a school where I am not being challenged at all.
Do you know what your grade point average is?
Last time I checked, my school does it on a 100-point scale.
Mm-hmm.
So last time I checked, it was a 104.32.
That seems. I don't know how to judge that. Where is that in your class?
So the beginning of second semester this year, I was number 1 out of 260.
I mean, that's something to be more proud of than any sports. My parents there's always education. I mean, that's a big accomplishment, being number 1 in your class right now.
Yeah, it's really hard.
I bet.
But like I said, always staying busy, it helps me get my schoolwork done at a good level.
That's great, and it's easier to get money for college, grade point average than it is in sports. So keep up the good work with your schoolwork.
Thank you.
Do you have any idea what you want to study when you go to college?
Well, I want to do something in the sciences. Like I'm gonna major something in sciences. I'm looking to lead either towards med school or I want to go possibly into physical therapy.
Okay, I mean, tough fields.
Yeah.
How about when you were younger? What did you want to be?
So, I mean, as most athletes when they're younger, I always wanted to be a professional athlete, but then I kind of realized that that wasn't a realistic goal for me. So, I mean, I've always I kind of moved on from that, and then I really always loved science and math. Those are my two favorite subjects. So, and crime investigation. So I used to want to be a forensic pathologist.
Well, that's another interesting field.
Yeah.
Are you a big CSI person?
Yes, CSI and CIS.
All right, we're getting ready to wrap up. We really didn't talk about track that much.
Yeah.
What are some accomplishments you had in track? Through your
Right.
first 2 years, since this year was wiped out.
So freshman year for track, I mean, as always, my goal coming to high school was to be a 12-letter varsity athlete. So I wanted to do something where I knew I could succeed. And I mean, it's sad that's not going to happen because this season was canceled. But freshman year, I wasn't really expecting anything for track because I had done track in 8th grade and I wasn't very good. But I guess all the strength and conditioning for my other sports in high school kind of helped me prepare. So I ended up being one of the top discus throwers on our team, and me and my friend were actually one of the 2 top freshmen in South Jersey Group 2 for discus throw.
Oh, wow.
So that was fun.
Yeah. Wrapping up, any advice you have for younger girls who want to play more than one sport growing up?
Yeah, I mean, sports were always so fun. So, I mean, if you want to do more than one sport, don't let anyone I would say don't let anyone tell you that you can't do it. A lot of people say you have to focus on one sport to only be good at one sport, but in my personal experience, that is not the truth. So, if you want to try a sport, go for it. Don't let anyone stop you. You just have to work, and not everything comes easy. So, you have to work hard to accomplish your goals. And then for me personally, sports really helped me with life skills, and I feel like any athlete would kind of tell you that. Time management and teamwork and working with others, it's a really big life skill that you'll use later in life. So, especially being on multiple teams, it really helps you getting to know other people, leadership, and learning how to work and compete for what you want.
I mean, that's great right there. I never thought it that way. It does teach you about time management, and teamwork. Teamwork which is, you have to have that to be, on winning teams. If you got selfish players, you're not going to go far.
Right.
Maury, thank you for joining me. And
Thank you for having me.
and hopefully soccer season starts on time.
I know, I'm hoping.
And good luck, and keep staying number one in your class with your grades.
Thank you. I'll try.
Thanks, Maury.